everyone, I'm Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Today I'm just going to give you a very quick kind of whistle-stop tour of the actual violin. Don't forget to check out my other video on how to hold the bow, how to hold the violin. I'm going to be doing some videos on vibrato, different kinds of bowing techniques and all that kind of good stuff. So check out all my other videos. But today I'm just going to quickly tell you a little bit about the violin, so hopefully it gives you a little bit more knowledge on what the violin has and what it does. So probably to start with, I'm not going to go through every single kind of technical detail with the violin because a lot of it's going to be unnecessary. You won't remember it, won't mean anything to you anyway. So I'm just going to go over the main things that you'll be using on a day-to-day basis when you do pick up the violin. So first thing is probably the chin rest. I'm very lucky to have a very thin chin rest, and I really like this chin rest because it doesn't dig into my neck. When you buy either student quality violins or say much better violins where you have spent a little bit of money investing, or you're lucky to just have a nice violin, sometimes you might find that the chin rest is very thick. That annoys a lot of people because it does dig into the chin. I've just changed my violin to this one about a year and a half ago, and when I bought this violin it had a much thicker chin rest. So I took this one off of my old violin when I part exchanged it and transferred it onto this one. So maybe if I can find it, perhaps I'll put the link in the bar underneath it of where you can get this exact chin rest from. They're not very expensive, I don't know, £5 something like that, but it's definitely worth doing. Okay, the next thing is the tailpiece, which is this little piece here. It basically just holds the strings. You can also have fine tuners or fine adjusters, whatever you want to call them, on the tailpiece as well. It just means that you can tune the strings a little bit more finely. I only have one on mine, which is the E string, just simply because I prefer to tune by the pegs, and I obviously find it a little bit easier. But I've had much experience tuning anyway. But because it's quite a nice violin and I've spent a little bit of money on it, the pegs are much easier to tune. When you get student quality violins, the pegs aren't always the best way to tune them, and you'll probably find that they will have 4 fine tuners on there because it is much easier to tune. So the next thing is the bridge, which is the little wooden bit here, and that just basically holds the strings in place. You will find that the bridge is just slanted a little bit. So as it goes down to the top string, the thinner string at the top, it is a little bit slanted. If you can sort of see that too well. But it's the way it's supposed to be, and you'll find the lowest bit of the slant, or the lowest bit of the bridge, should be where the E string is, the one at the top. So the one that's on the right. The next thing is the neck of the violin, which is this little section here basically, because it's just where you're going to be putting your fingers, so it's just called the neck of the violin. At the top here, this is called the scroll. It looks a little bit like a scroll, and then you've got your 4 pegs, which are used to tune the strings. So as I said before, I use these pegs to tune my violin just because this violin is built for the pegs to be tuned. I find that I can get a much better tune, I can get a finer tune on them than I actually can with the fine tuners at the bottom, strangely enough. I would advise anybody to use the fine tuners or buy them. Again, they're only a few pounds each to have them, to buy them, and if you can find someone to put them on, they might even do it in the music shop for you, possibly. If there's someone there that can do that for you. If you do have a violin that is old and you haven't played it for ages, and you know it is badly out of tune, it's always better if you can actually find someone to tune it for you. Just simply because if you do go around playing with the pegs and you yank them too much, too far, too back, you'll find it'll just be a nightmare to tune. The pegs will end up slipping, you'll push it, you could end up pushing it too far, and you'll end up breaking the strings and then having to put new strings back on them, which obviously you don't want to do. Just very lastly, I suppose, you've got these little what we call the little F holes here. It's just where the sound comes out of the violin. That was just a couple of minutes just to briefly explain 1 or 2 little things on the violin, just to clear up a few little things if you're just wondering what's that, you know, on the violin. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to check out my other videos and join me next time.